Here's how you make homemade cheese danishes.
So these are actually really easy to make if you buy your own puff pastry. So let's get into this.
So the first thing we're going to do is make the filling, which, just a heads up, I'm going to state the amounts for a single batch, but you'll see me add the amounts for a double batch since that's what I was actually making here. For that, we'll need 6 ounces of softened cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and 1 egg yolk. Beat all of the ingredients together with a whisk, a hand, or a stand mixer like you see me using here until well combined. The mixture should look smooth and creamy with little to no lumps in it. We're then going to add in the 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract that we almost forgot, and then mix again and set aside.
And just like that, our filling is done and we can move on to prepping our puff pastry.
Onto a lightly floured work surface, we're going to roll out our thawed store-bought puff pastry. Make sure you follow the instructions for thawing on the box, otherwise your pastry may crack when you're rolling it out at this point. The recipe says to cut this into 8 squares, but I needed more danishes, so I opted for 10 rectangles. We're then going to brush the edges of our pastry with a beaten egg white and then fold the corners in, pressing lightly so they stick. We're going to place these onto our lined baking sheets, making sure that there's space in between each danish so they have room to puff up and grow. Once we're happy with the spacing, we're going to brush the remaining exposed pastry with the rest of our egg white. Lastly, we'll scoop about 1 tablespoon of our cream cheese filling into the center of each pastry. Try to keep this as close to the middle as possible, as it can spill over the sides in the oven while the danishes bake.
We're then going to pop these into a 375-degree preheated oven to bake for 15 minutes.
After 15 minutes in the oven, we're going to rotate our pans and continue baking for another 15 minutes or until the pastry is golden brown and puffed. While they're still in the oven, we're going to make our glaze. In a small bowl, we're going to whisk together 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix until smooth, and then I like to pour this into a plastic sandwich bag instead of wasting a piping bag, since we're just looking to drizzle this over our pastries and don't need a precise tip. After a total of 30 minutes in the oven, remove the danishes and let cool. Since my cheese went a little all over the place, I decided to spoon the filling back into the middle so nothing went to waste here. We're then going to grab our bag of glaze, cut a very small piece out of the corner, and then drizzle it all over our warm pastries. You don't have to use all of the glaze, I just like to make sure I get a nice even coating over all of the danishes, so feel free to adjust as you see fit.
And there you have it, beautifully golden and so easy to make homemade cheese danishes.
I am so excited to dig into this. Now I'm having this as a dessert, but this is really more of a breakfast item, so feel free to pop these in the toaster oven the next morning for a delicious, if not nutritious, breakfast. Cheers. Crispy pastry, tangy, cheesy middle, super easy to make. What more could you ask for in a dessert? Let me know if you make these.